Is Akhilesh Yadav, the primary perceived challenger to Yogi Adityanath, spooked with the exit poll results, or there is credible claim to what he has alleged right now? Akhilesh Yadav had said that EVM tampering could very well be on, the BJP trying to rig polls as Samajwadi Party is set to win the election. Akhilesh Yadav further says, stop BJP conspiracy at counting centres. He's appealed to his supporters and his cadre to camp outside EVM centres to make sure there is no manipulation. He has alleged that there is at play a big conspiracy where the Bharatiya Janata Party is concerned to manipulate EVMs. That there is a BJP conspiracy on right now at counting centres. Well, this is what Akhilesh Yadav tweeted just a short while ago. It's followed by this massive press conference, viewers, which he had yesterday, where he released a video as well, in which in Varanasi, there is a truck which seems to have certain EVMs with people on it. He used that and said that this is what is happening where EVM manipulation is concerned, the BJP trying to rig the vote in Uttar Pradesh. But also, this happens in the backdrop of nearly all exit polls, including our most credible India Today, Access My India exit polls, which has predicted, viewers, a sweep for the Bharatiya Janata Party. I want to cut across to Rahul Srivastava, our National Affairs Editor, who's joining us at this moment. Rahul, you know, the statement, the press conference of Akhilesh Yadav and the Samajwadi Party yesterday to now his latest tweet suggesting that the BJP is conspiring to rig the polls through EVM manipulation and tampering suggests two things. That A, these claims, these allegations are grave, and one, definitely the EC needs to look into them. The other one, that Akhilesh Yadav is clearly spooked by the exit poll results.
Yes, Preeti, every time somebody is losing an election, it's a common thing that there is a loser's rant or a losing fig leaf. The fact remains that we have had this for a very long time. It's also a fact it was a BJP which was the first one at one time to flag the fact that EVMs could be tampered, and it was illustrious leader Mr. G.V.L. Narasimha Rao who virtually wrote an entire book on it. After that, there have been claims by political parties. It's usually not the victor, barring I think only once I recall that when somebody winning against a very prominent leader in Tamil Nadu, the victor actually asked for a repoll, then lost the election and went out. The fact remains that it's always there. So should it be dismissed always as a loser's rant? Because eventually, I think Caesar's wife should be above suspicion. Now, in case there are so many charges constantly, I think the onus is on the Election Commission, because eventually the EVM is the custodian of the people's mandate. Now, if there are doubts, for example, let's take this case, Preeti. Now, in the Pahadia polling center, all the strong rooms, all the EVMs which have been the votes have been stored, are being kept under the three-tier security with central paramilitary forces, others guarding them. There are also CCTVs with political party representatives can actually sit and watch that whether those EVMs are being used, being tempered or manhandled, mishandled, whatever. The fact remains, Preeti, that 2 truckloads of EVMs were being transported out is a matter of suspicion. Who knows what they were for? The Chief Election Officer of UP says they were meant for training, the second round of training for the personnel. But why cannot the CEO of a state in an election-bound state where stakes are so high inform all political parties prior to such transport of EVMs that we are transporting EVMs for a training exercise? You people can come and check it. It can be a more transparent process. But on the hindsight, you try to explain, I think political parties are bound to raise certain amount of noise. I think it's high time that the Election Commission steps in, gets the best of the hackers and the electronic brains of the world, sits down with the EVMs and proves that the EVMs are beyond tamper. I think this debate has gone on too long now in this country, which loves its democracy and loves the fact that we vote through EVMs while the best of the developed nations are voting through ballot paper.
You know, Rahul, as I bring in our other panelists, I want to ask you one question again. It's not that it hasn't been done. Let's go back, you know, in 2019 as well, there were charges that were made by the opposition, that 2014 as well, that there was EVM tampering. The Election Commission actually did call a press conference. They invited all political parties to come and try and hack the system. Nobody turned up to that press conference. I remember attending that press conference.
Preeti, I don't think political parties are the best of the judges or experts on the technology involved. I was watching a James Bond movie recently and I was surprised there is something called smart blood. James Bond was injected with something which actually through the blood they could track where he was moving. Technology has moved from the North Pole to the South Pole, and I think EVMs were the big boy and the big ticket change in Indian democracy 20, 30 years back. I think it is time, with repeated complaints by political parties. I think even an opposition, a losing opponent's complaints cannot be dismissed. This is what democracy is all about. If Ajmal Kasab attacked Indians in Bombay, he was given a fair trial. That's what the basic tenet of a democracy is. I think EVMs need to be proven beyond tempering. I think the time is not tomorrow, but today.
Well, all right, because this is something we've heard all the time. And this has happened on the eve of counting, viewers, where the primary perceived challenger to Yogi Adityanath, the Bharatiya Janata Party, Akhilesh Yadav from the Samajwadi Party, has made a very, very grave allegation. He says that there is a conspiracy on by the Bharatiya Janata Party to actually rig the election, to tamper with the EVMs. Many, including the Bharatiya Janata Party, says this is a case of sour grapes. He's clearly spooked because every exit poll consecutively has given a clean sweep to the Bharatiya Janata Party, where Uttar